From the newsroom at news.com.au.
Hi, I'm Lexi Cartwright.
And I'm Andrew Bucklow.
And this is the latest from the newsroom. It's Wednesday the 2nd of June.
Well, the lockdown in Victoria has been extended for another 7 days. Acting Premier James Merlino made the announcement today.
So I know that this is not the news that everyone wants to hear for Melbourne today, but given the cases that we've had and that we are still seeing, the Chief Health Officer had no choice but to put this advice to government, and the government had no choice but to accept that advice from the Chief Health Officer. If we don't do this, this thing will get away. This variant of concern will become uncontrollable and people will die.
Mr Merlino also called on the federal government to provide a JobKeeper-style support for Victorians who will be affected by the restrictions.
In finance news, Australia's economy has rebounded to pre-pandemic levels. Figures show it grew 1.8% in the first quarter of the year as coronavirus restrictions eased. The Australian Bureau of Statistics reported the consumer-led recovery was due to a surge in domestic spending and investment.
Overseas now, there was outrage in Italy yesterday after a notorious mob boss was released from prison. Giovanni Brusca served 25 years for a string of grim crimes, including assassinating a famous prosecutor and dissolving a boy's body in acid. Brusca was arrested in 1996 and decided to cooperate with the authorities, admitting to hundreds of murders. He'll now serve 4 years of probation.
To sport, tennis star Venus Williams delivered one hell of a burn to the media when asked how she deals with the pressure of post-match interviews. Williams was responding to Naomi Osaka's belief that post-match media interviews were harmful to her mental health. Have a listen.
For me personally, how I deal with it was that I know every single person asking me a question can't play as well as I can and never will. So no matter what you say or what you write, you'll never light a candle to me. So that's how I deal with it. But each person deals with it differently.
To showbiz news now, and the Veronicas have launched yet another scathing attack on Celebrity Apprentice. Now, the sisters went on the show to win cash for the Brain Foundation because their mum has a rare neurological condition, but they've accused the show of editing them to appear as if they used their mum's condition to their benefit. Now, in an open letter to the show, the duo wrote, "What you've done is gut-wrenching, soul-destroying, and the lowest thing you could ever do to us as women, daughters and carers."
And finally, Kelly Osbourne has opened up about falling off the wagon. She told Jada Pinkett Smith on the Red Table Talk show that she relapsed earlier this year.
There's so much irony in this last relapse for me because I made it all the way through the pandemic.
Right.
I made it all the way through.
And you had 4 years.
Almost 4 years
of sobriety.
Yeah.
So what environment were you in, Kelly, when you took your first drink in your relapse, when you relapsed?
I was alone, sitting by a pool and waiting for somebody to come have a meeting with me, and I saw this woman and her husband had a glass of champagne and it looked really nice, and I was like, oh, I can do that too.
Wow.
And then the next day I had 2 glasses. And then the day after that, it was bottles.
Like full bottles to yourself?
Yeah.
Well, that's it from the newsroom. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another update.
Your headlines from news.com.au.